Welcome to the Postsecondary Data Partnership Fall 2021 Data Submission and Reporting Cycle webinar. I am your host, Michelle Raza. By the end of this presentation, you will understand the data submission process, learn how to manage your file submissions. This includes how to review, reject, and certify submitted files, learn how to resubmit data, understand the data quality checks, and finally review resources. There are two different logins for the PDP depending on what you want to do. The secure FTP account is used to upload your data and is a shared mailbox. If you would like to add individuals to the shared mailbox, please send a request to pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org. Please note all users added to the FTP account will receive notifications when a file is uploaded. In this webinar, we will be covering a new way to upload via API. However, the secure FTP is the only way to download files that the clearinghouse sent back. The PDP application account is your login that you will use to manage your file submissions. To access your dashboards, you will use this login using the same account. Managing access for this is maintained by your institution's user administrator. The Analysis Ready file will be delivered to you via Secure FTP. If you are participating on multiple clearinghouse services, please make sure you use your PDP-specific FTP username to log in. The Fall 2021 data submission began on September 7th, 2021. For this reporting cycle, we are collecting spring and summer term data for the 2020 to 2021 academic year. The effective dates are set for September 24th, 2021 and November 12th, 2021. These are the effective dates for merging certified PDP data submissions with Degree Verify and enrollment reporting data submitted up to that point by your institution for PDP Fall 2021 reports. The degree and enrollment data matching process and final data quality checks on the certified dataset will begin after the effective date. Institutions that certify their PDP data submission by the effective date should expect the Analysis Ready file to be received in their FTP received folder within 30 days. Within 5 business days of the Analysis Ready file delivery, updated Tableau dashboards will be available. Institutions can submit PDP data after the effective date and receive reporting within 30 days from the latest certification date. Please note the additional data quality checks that are performed after the degree and enrollment data matching process can reveal data discrepancies that may require institutions to resubmit data to ensure the best quality outcomes. If your institution is required to resubmit data, then your institution's reporting will be available within 30 days from the latest certification date. Please also note that the optional financial aid file will not be a part of the certification process. If you are submitting the financial aid file, please notify the clearinghouse at pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org to let us know that you are done submitting. Now that we have discussed the timeline, let's take a look at what you will need to submit. For the cohort file, you want to include all students that enrolled at your institution for the first time in the spring and summer 2021 term. For the course file, you want to include all students from the previous and current cohorts that enrolled at your institution in the spring and summer 2021 term. For the optional financial aid file, please follow the same logic as the course file. You may submit data up to the 2021 to 2022 academic year. We will also be discussing the new update files in this webinar, which are optional files to upload specific fields in your cohort and course file. As mentioned previously, please make sure you submit your institution's most recent enrollment and degree data through the other clearinghouse services. Here are some best practices. Please make sure to read the data submission guide carefully. We encourage you to test out your FTP and application credentials early on. Please let us know via the PDP service email address if you have any trouble accessing these accounts. Finally, please add the following emails to your safe senders list. This will ensure that these emails will not end up in your spam or junk mail. Now it is time to prepare for submission. As you are developing your files, please make sure that you include I_ at the start of the name followed by your PDP-specific FTP username as a prerequisite to the file name. This will ensure that your file will be picked up by the clearinghouse. In this example, 123456 PDP is the PDP FTP username. Hometown Cohort Spring 2020 is the file name. Please make sure to specify the file type, term, and year for which you are submitting data for in the file name. Your file must be in CSV or text extension. Each file contains the following sections. The header record identifies the sending organization and the file type. The column header record is the second row of the data file, and the labels are case sensitive. Please make sure that you follow these guidelines carefully and check for spelling. The detail record is where all the student records are stored. And finally, the trailer record, which identifies where the data ends in your file. Now let's work through an example of the cohort file layout. As a reminder, the record type values such as DCE01, DCE02, DCE03, CH1, D1, and T1 are special. They must be the first field in the row, otherwise you will receive an invalid record type error. The header record type field must always be populated with DCE01 to indicate that the file type is a cohort. The column header record contains the column labels. The column headings must match the values in the detail records. The detail record contains the individual student data records. Please include one data record for each student. For the detail records, we see cohort year, which is the academic year the student first enrolled in at least one course. This is followed by cohort term field. We want to know the term in which the student first came to your institution. You must enter fall, winter, spring, or summer values only. For this example, we're submitting 2 students and we've entered fall for both John and Jane Doe. The cohort term begin date and cohort term end date fields must be in a 4-digit year, 2-digit month, 2-digit day format. Here we want to know your institution's overall term begin and end date. We've entered in 2017-08-10 as the term begin date and 2017-12-20 as the term end date. Your term dates for this semester should be the year 2020. Lastly is the trailer record. The record type value, the first field in the trailer record must be T1. The second row is the row number. In this example, we have 5 rows including the trailer record, so we've entered 5. Please note the character length for each field can only carry a maximum of 255 characters. If a field exceeds the maximum length, a database error will occur and you will not receive an automated receipt email. Please note this error is different from the structural and field level validation error. Now let's work through an example of the course file layout. The header record in the course file is the same as the header record in the cohort file. The only difference is in the record type field. Here you must populate the field with DCE02 to indicate the file type as the course file. The column header record contains the column labels. The column headings must match the values in the detail records. The column header labels differ from the cohort file. Please refer to page 19 of our data submission guide. As a reminder, the cohort term field is the term in which the student first came to your institution. You will need to enter in fall, winter, spring, or summer values. The term field is the term for which we are currently collecting data in the submission window. Please also enter in fall, winter, spring, or summer values only. Please also note the course end date allows for a future end date for any courses that may have not been completed. For the course file trailer record, it is the same as the cohort file. The record type must be T1. Now we will cover the financial aid file. The header record type for the financial aid file must be DCE03. The column header record contains the column labels. The column headings must match the values in the detail records. Please refer to page 26 of our data submission guide for the accepted column header labels. The detail record contains the individual student records. The trailer record must begin with T1, same as the course and cohort files, indicating the end of the data file. Now it is time to start submitting your files. There are 2 ways to submit your files, via API or secure FTP. First, we'll look at the secure FTP process. To start the data upload, please go to the Clearinghouse homepage, studentclearinghouse.org. Then select FTP Login on the top right-hand corner of the screen. This is the FTP login screen. You must log in using your PDP-specific FTP mailbox. Please note you may only access the secure FTP website by going to the URL link provided on screen. There is an option to reset your password if needed. Simply click on Request a Password Change. Once logged in, click on the Upload button to launch the Upload wizard. A pop-up window displays. You can add files by dragging and dropping from your computer into the window. Repeat as necessary to upload multiple files. Alternately, click Browse to select files using your OS Explorer. Within a few minutes of submitting your PDP files, you will receive an automated email from the Clearinghouse indicating that your file was received. This email will not indicate a pass or a fail. If you did not receive an email, please ensure the following: the emails were not sent to your junk mail, the correct service account number was provided in the header record, and your PDP FTP username was included in the file naming convention. The following email will tell you the status of your structural level validation. Please note the formatting errors will only be reported to you one at a time. This is because our system cannot continue reviewing files with formatting errors until it is corrected and resubmitted. Once the structural validation has passed, the system will then check for any field level errors. Unlike the structural validation, the system can uncover several field level errors which will be listed in the error report log. Please note if your file was delivered to the clearinghouse but you did not receive an email on the status or are unable to view the error report log in the PDP application, your file may have a database error. This error is different from the structural and field level validation errors. If this occurs, please email us at pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org and we will resolve the issue. As a PDP customer, you can transmit your course, cohort, and financial aid data as a file using the secure FTP or File Upload API. Let's look at the API process. This is an alternative to the FTP for uploading files. What is the File Upload API? File Upload Application Programming Interface, or API, is an automated, secure data submission method of submitting your Postsecondary Data Partnership data files to the clearinghouse. For institutions using Ellucian products, Ellucian has built an in-house system called Ethos to allow for third parties to integrate with their student information system. For Ethos customers, Ellucian will build the PDP file on behalf of the school and securely transfer the data to the clearinghouse through the API. To get started, you will need to obtain credentials in the form of a client ID and secret key from the clearinghouse. Reach out to the clearinghouse customer service department at pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org and state your interest in using API, and you will then be using the Ethos platform. After you receive the credentials from the clearinghouse, you will need to reach out to Ellucian and review their documentation to complete setup. If you use Ellucian products but are not on the Ethos platform, or you're not sure if you use Ethos, please contact your Ellucian account representative to help you get connected and started with the Ellucian Clearinghouse PDP integration. For non-Ellucian customers, reach out to the Clearinghouse customer service to obtain credentials that will be given in the form of client ID and secret key from the Clearinghouse. State in your email that you would be using your automated process to send files via API. We'll respond back to your request with the PDP File Upload API documentation you can refer to for requirements on automating the process on your side. Now it is time to log into the PDP application and review the status of your data submission. From the Clearinghouse website, go to the PDP application. Click Access Your Resources. On the right, select Check File Status, or you may bookmark the unique URL link to your browser which will take you directly to the PDP application. This is the application login page. You will use your web ID and password to log in. This is the landing page of the PDP application, also known as the File Submission Summary page. You will only be able to see your institution's files. On this page, you can review the metadata contained in each submission by clicking on the caret to the left of the submission number, reject files that you do not want processed and included in your reports. Selecting an option from the Data Status drop-down box will filter the results in the table below so you can easily track the progress of your files. In the Review Data Quality button, which is used for informational purposes only in order to see the status of your various data quality checks. To view the error report log for structural or field level errors, click on the submission number as shown. This is an example of the error report log. To go back to the landing page, click on the Postsecondary Data Partnership link at the top. The first step in managing your file submissions is to carefully review and reject any files that you do not want processed. File rejection could occur for the following reasons. The data is no longer valid and a replacement file was submitted, a data file was accidentally submitted more than once, or if the data file was a test file. Please remember that you can only reject files if the data status indicates that the data quality has failed or if the file has passed. To reject a file, simply click on the Reject button. A message will appear at the top of your screen to confirm your action. Please note that once you reject a file, it cannot be undone. If you reject it by mistake, simply resubmit the file. Once you click Yes, the data status of the file will change to Rejected. To start the data certification process, click on Manage Submissions. Notice that the search fields at the top are pre-populated. All the files will have a Pass Data status. The Certify button should be used to indicate that your data submission is complete and you do not plan to submit any additional files in the submission window. As previously mentioned, you can expand the submissions to view the metadata within each file. The submission summary metadata table at the bottom provides a total count on the cohort metadata and the course metadata. The full range of cohort and course years in combination with the terms and total records is available for your review. Once you have verified the submitted data and you are confident that no additional data files are required, the certification can begin. Click on the Certify button. A message will appear on your screen to confirm the submission numbers listed. If the files meet your expectations, click Yes. The status of the files will change to Certified. Once the data is certified, the PDP application applies a series of data quality checks. You will receive an automated email with the results of the data quality checks. These checks review the response rate of specific data elements, duplicate students and courses, as well as compare the most recently submitted data to historical data. To check the status of your files in the data quality stages, click on Review Data Quality. By default, the most recent submission window is populated, and those results are displayed. You will have the ability to view a specific submission number and review the results of past submissions as well. The data table on this page displays the executed data quality checks and whether they've passed or failed. Please note the data quality checks have an allowed threshold and a submission will only fail if the percentage of errors exceeds said threshold. You now have the ability to override the data quality checks. If you review a data quality error and determine that the data is correct, you can override the error. Please note you should only override a data quality error when you are confident that the error will not affect the quality of your data. You can override many common data quality errors on your own, including degree type sought is unknown, Gateway Math status is the same as Gateway English status. For some data quality errors, you should contact us before overriding them. These include duplicate courses or students across either multiple submissions or your most recent submission. If you receive any duplicate data quality errors or if you need help with data quality errors, please email us at pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org. To override the data quality errors on the file submission summary screen, click Manage Submissions. From the Select Action dropdown, select Override. Click Search, review the files in the submission, and click Override. All files listed will be overridden. You cannot select individual files to override. You should reject any files you do not want processed before clicking the Override button. Click Yes to confirm. You have now successfully overridden your data quality checks. You now also have the ability to recertify your submissions. When you resubmit a data file, you may need to recertify the submission. You can only recertify a submission that has already been certified for the current submission window. You may need to recertify a submission if, after recertifying a submission, you uploaded additional data, you have replaced one or more files that failed data quality checks. You can only certify a submission once per submission window. You should upload all data files in the submission before you certify the submission. You should only recertify a submission when you are adding additional files or resubmitting a file with data quality issues. You can recertify a single cohort or course file depending on what you need to resubmit. If your submission has passed the data quality checks and has begun processing, please contact us at pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org before replacing and recertifying your data. Once the additional or replacement data has passed validation checks, the submission status will show as ready for merge. This means the new data is ready to merge with the data you submitted previously. Once you recertify the submission, the data will be merged and processed. Remember to reject any files that you are replacing. Note, if the reject button is unavailable, the data has already been processed. To ensure that the PDP is processing the most accurate data, email pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org to have the file deleted. Do not recertify a replacement file until the original file has been deleted. Once you have uploaded a new submission, you must recertify it. To recertify your submission, click on Manage Submissions. From the Select Action dropdown, select Recertify Submission. Click Search. Review the submissions and click Recertify. Click Yes to confirm. You have now successfully recertified your data for the current submission window. If you need to make changes to previously submitted and successfully processed data, you can now submit an update data file. You can submit an update data file the same way you submit the original file. The PDP system will match the data with an existing student and update it with the new values. Update files do not need to be certified. There are three types of update files you can submit: cohort update file, course term update file, and course update file. The information from the original course file is split between the term and course update files. Due to the way the data is matched by the clearinghouse, you cannot update both term and course data in one file. You can send cohort update files for multiple cohorts and any number of students. Listed on the screen are the fields that are able to be updated via the cohort update file. You can submit course term update files for multiple terms and any number of students. Listed on the screen are the fields that you are able to update via the course term update file. These are the fields that you are able to update via the course update file. The header record should be the same as the header record in the original data file except for the record type variable, which must contain a specific value based on the type of update file. For course term data file, the header should be DCE12. For course data file, it should be DCE13. And for cohort data file, it should be DCE11. The trailer record must be the same as the original data file. The detail records must be formatted the same as in the original data file and follow all the requirements outlined in the submission guide. However, the required values are not the same as in the original file. Values that you change in the update file will be updated. However, not all values can be updated. Some values that cannot be updated are still required to match the original data. Some values that were optional in the original file are now required in the update file. Some values that were required in the original file are optional in the update file. If you submit any of these values, they will not be updated. Please refer to our PDP data submission guide for a full list. After you submit updated data, you will receive an email with the summary of the update files that we processed and the instructions to download your update results file. This is a CSV file, which you can download from our secure FTP site. The results file includes the following information: source type, organization ID, institution ID, submission line number, submission number, student ID, update status, student match status, and file name. If your update results file indicates that a record could not be updated, you should review the data in that record and compare it to the previously submitted data to determine what caused the error. You can also check the student match status, which indicates whether or not we were able to match the data to an existing student. If we were not able to match the data to an existing student, you should confirm that the student data was sent in a previous cohort file and that the student ID or social security number matches the original file. If the student match status is yes and the update status is no, you should check for the following. For the cohort update file, confirm that the cohort term and year are the same as in the original file. For the course term update file, confirm that the academic year and term are the same as the original file. For the course update file, if the course information was sent previously, confirm that the required course information, such as course prefix and course number, is the same as the original file. Please resubmit your submissions along with the other required data for this window, then recertify your files. Afterwards, email pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org to let us know that the certified data includes data that was previously submitted and reported on. In the meantime, if you have any questions or need resources, please visit us online at studentclearinghouse.org/colleges/PDP or email us at pdpservice@studentclearinghouse.org. This concludes the PDP data submission webinar.